Hello, friends. Today, we're going to talk about what it's like to spend a day living with OCD. We all have routines: waking up, showering, eating, working, resting, and sleeping. But what if every step you take is filled with an unrelenting fear? What if waking up isn't just about starting the day, but surviving your own thoughts? Today, let's take a brief moment to understand one day in the life of someone living with OCD, Obsessive-Compulsive Disorder. This isn't just a story, it's a journey full of struggles, repetitions, and a hope that never fades. Let's listen to their story. 6 a.m. The battle begins. A new day begins. The alarm rings, their eyes slowly open. But it's not a feeling of refreshment that greets them, it's anxiety that strikes instantly. They lie there, staring at the ceiling, their mind already in turmoil. Did I sleep in the right position? What if I hurt someone while sleeping unknowingly? Even before their feet hit the floor, they feel exhausted. Guilt ties them down, and the day hasn't truly begun. The morning anxiety feels like a thick fog that envelopes their entire body. They can't move without first trying to calm their mind, even though it seems impossible. Every little action is laced with questions that have been tormenting them since the night before. Morning isn't a fresh start. It's a continuation of a night they never truly made it through. 6:30 a.m. Hidden rituals. They get out of bed, but not in the usual way. They pull the blanket carefully, making sure the folds are perfect. The pillow has to be placed at an even angle. They walk to the light switch and touch it 4 times. The number 4 isn't just any number, it's a number they believe brings calm. The window is opened, then closed again, just to make sure everything is under control. It's not about logic, it's about trying to soothe invisible fears that grip their mind. Every small action requires enormous energy. They can't just do something once. They have to repeat, check, and reassure themselves. If they don't, panic starts to creep in. Sometimes they know the rituals aren't rational, but rejecting them means accepting the worst possible outcome, which they simply can't bear. For others, closing the door is a simple task. For them, it's a test of faith, safety, and morality. 7:30 a.m. Cleanliness or exhaustion. It's time to shower. It's not about refreshing the body, but making sure every part of their body is free from germs, dirt, or negative energy that they feel has clung to them. Their hands are scrubbed repeatedly until their skin turns red. They change soap more than once. The water is left running until they feel sufficiently clean, though it's never truly enough. This process can take 30 minutes to an hour. They know their skin is damaged. They know it's excessive. But if they stop, their mind will replay the fear: if I'm not clean, someone might get sick because of me. Imagine a shower becoming a battleground. They feel impure not just physically, but spiritually. Sometimes, they feel that the shower is an act of penance, and if it's not perfect, the entire day will be filled with mistakes. They may cry quietly in the shower, silently begging God to make their mind stop whispering. But OCD has no mercy. 8:30 a.m. Heading to work. On the way to work, a new challenge arises. When crossing the street, they look behind. Did I hit someone earlier? Even though there's no sign of anything, they turn back. They search the road, looking anxiously. They even start recording their journey, just to reassure themselves later that they didn't hurt anyone. In their mind, accidents could happen even if they aren't visible. OCD makes them doubt reality, making them distrust their own senses. Thoughts like these come uninvited. Even though they know they're careful, they never feel completely sure. They live with an overwhelming sense of responsibility, as if the entire world could fall apart if they make even the smallest mistake. And because of this, they become exhausted just walking or driving 10 minutes to work. 9 a.m. At the office. When they arrive at the office, they try to appear normal. But their mind continues to race. They read emails multiple times, afraid of typing something wrong or sending a message that might offend someone. They arrange documents in a specific color or shape order. They wash their hands every time they touch something from another person. A single harsh word from a coworker can haunt them for days, not because they're hurt, but because they'll obsess over whether it was their fault. They live in a constant loop of guilt. Interacting with others feels like walking on glass. They're afraid of being misunderstood. They're afraid of unintentionally hurting someone's feelings. They're afraid of being hated. OCD plants the seed of guilt even before they make a mistake. That's why they often choose silence. But silence doesn't save them from the storm of thoughts inside. 12 p.m. Lunch in silence. Lunchtime arrives. Amid the laughter of coworkers, they sit alone. Their fork and knife are wiped repeatedly. Their drink is stared at for a long time. What if there's something in it? They try to eat, but every bite is filled with unease. What if this food causes an allergy? What if I end up making someone sick? Hunger has to face fear. And often, fear wins. They try to keep eating, but their stomach is anxious. Every bite feels like a major decision. In the middle of the crowd, they drown in their own thoughts. They want to join in the casual conversation, but OCD's voice is louder than the voices of those around them. And that makes loneliness their constant companion amidst the crowd. 2 p.m. The mind as the enemy. By the afternoon, their body begins to feel tired, but their mind becomes even more active. Intrusive thoughts come one after another, unwanted thoughts that just appear out of nowhere. What if I lose control and hurt someone next to me? They don't want to think this way. But the more they fight, the more those thoughts push against them. They're not a bad person. But OCD accuses them otherwise. They are punished by their own mind for mistakes they haven't made. There is no safe space in their thoughts. Even when sitting still, their mind can conjure up frightening scenarios. They fear that these thoughts aren't just shadows, but hidden desires. They become afraid of themselves. And that's the most painful part, not being able to trust their own thoughts and feelings. 6 p.m. Home, but never finished. When they get home, the fatigue becomes real. But OCD doesn't allow them to rest. They check the door multiple times, ensuring the stove is off, the window is tightly closed. They take photos as proof, record videos as reminders, but still, what if this video is wrong? What if I only feel like I've checked, but actually haven't? They start the process over. The house is no longer a place of rest, but a testing ground for peace that never seems to end. Checking becomes the closing ritual of the day. But instead of bringing peace, it adds to the burden. They want to go straight to bed, but their mind won't allow it. They can stand in front of the door for 10 minutes, trying to reassure themselves, and still fail. OCD demands perfection, and their brain knows no rest. 9 p.m. Alone in prayer. At night, they try to find peace. They write in their journal, attempting to sort through their chaotic thoughts. They pray, but their prayers cannot be random. They must be repeated with the same wording, the exact number. If not, they feel their prayers are invalid. They fear God's anger. They fear making a spiritual mistake. All they want is to be heard. But OCD turns their prayers into a stressful ritual. In their prayers, they acknowledge their exhaustion. They beg for a break. But fear makes them repeat the prayer over and over. Sometimes dozens of times. They feel that if a single word is wrong, the entire next day will be ruined. OCD contaminates their faith, creating a deep spiritual guilt. 11 p.m. Restless sleep. Finally, they lie down. But that doesn't mean they're at peace. Their mind continues to replay the events of the day. Did I hurt anyone? Was I good enough today? They can't sleep until they feel everything has been checked. And even after they sleep, nightmares may come, or they may wake up with the same panic as the morning. The day ends not with peace, but with hope. Maybe tomorrow will be a little lighter. They hope for sweet dreams. But even in their sleep, OCD sneaks in. They might wake up from dreams about the same fears they face when awake. Sleep isn't an escape, it's an extension of anxiety. And tomorrow will begin again like this. Reflection. OCD isn't about cleanliness or orderliness. It's not about being a perfectionist. It's a psychological condition that binds, restricts, and tortures in silence. But with therapy, understanding, and support from those around them, this journey can be walked. Difficult, yes, but not impossible. Every person with OCD has a story, and every story deserves to be heard. Thank you for listening until the end. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Stories like this need to be told more. And if you have a similar experience, write it in the comments.